Welcome to the studio today. A very exciting thing that I have just discovered, or I didn't really discover it. My friend Liam Good sent me a message and was like, hey, here's a thing the Nikon Z6 II does that you should know about. This will be my last video for about 2 weeks, taking 2 weeks off. I know, shocking, right? We're going to be filming a lot of content with the Z6 II next week, and it's going to be released later in November, so stay tuned for that, but taking 2 weeks off. That said, I will be going daily over on the member site, so if you're interested in specifically wedding photography or the subscription-based photography model that the videos came out a couple of days ago about that, if you're interested in either of those, there is going to be daily content. I have the topics down here, and the topics are, this is going to be the daily content that's up on the member site. 3 ways to book more ongoing subscription style jobs. So the subscription style jobs being the ones that you show up to that business every single month and you generate new content for them and you get a paycheck every single month. And they can be signed into a 12-year contract if you want, or they could be quarterly or whatever you want it to be. There's a full course over on the member site, and then plus there's going to be some additional marketing material going up this week. The next day, the next topic will be the 5 things that you should be doing in your wedding photo business right now to prepare for 2021. I gave a lot of tips about this, but I think that we kind of underestimated how long this was going to continue on for. So I have a new set of tips for marketing yourself going into 2021 that can hopefully book you a number of weddings. I know a lot of people have already had a lot of success, specifically looking at their 21 calendar right now. So there's going to be 5 more tips and things that you can just put into action right now in order to generate more bookings for next year. The next day, I'm actually going to be talking about the gear that I'm using. The last video that I uploaded on YouTube about my wedding photography equipment, I'm still on digital SLR, so I'm going to give an update about everything that I'm using, as well as my experiences with the Canon R6 system and the Nikon Z6 II, which I'm very excited about, the lenses I'm going to be using, and all the gear that I would bring with me on a wedding day. The next day is going to be the biggest mistake that wedding photographers make on their websites. Last year, I actually went through, I'm going to say, I think it ended up being like 200 different wedding photographers' websites. If you're part of Patreon at the time, now the member site, I would have actually gone through your website. And this is the number one takeaway that I kind of learned collectively through going through that many number of websites of wedding photographers all around the world too, which is kind of cool. The same, I guess, biggest mistake is the one. The next topic is going to be how the wedding industry has changed in 2020 and how to book more next year because of it. Followed by the next day is going to be SEO tips for photographers, so search engine optimization. Basically means to get your stuff up there on Google a little bit higher and to be discovered more organically. There's a lot of content about SEO. I'm going to try to distill down stuff that you can just actually do right now that will actually have a significant difference, rather than trying to implement everything that you could ever learn about SEO. And then the last day is going to be my biggest screw up as a wedding photographer. So those will all be coming to the member site this coming week. Here's the thing that Liam told me about. So hidden surprise Easter egg. When you're a photo video shooter, so maybe I'll go to the iPhone on this. Hidden surprise feature of the Nikon Z6 II that I am super excited about. So as somebody that shoots both photography and video coverage, or really just anyone that just shoots photography through both the EVF as well as the LCD, and you're switching between the two, it's very seamless and easy now. I would say that my metrics, I shoot roughly 50-50 EVF to viewfinder. One of the things that I've discovered to be a little bit annoying is that if you get the viewfinder a little bit too close to you, it'll think that your eye is in there and it'll switch to the EVF. What the Nikon Z6 II does is that if you have the monitor flipped up at all, so if it's just completely back against the camera, this is not a thing that happens, but as soon as you pop it up like this, all of a sudden you can't activate the eyepiece right now, which is amazing. So basically, if you're putting this really close to your body, you can always be looking at the monitor. If you're using this as like a third point of stabilization, you're now able to just kind of do that without it just taking over and being in the EVF. If you want the quick override, you can obviously just hit the button that's up here and you can select exactly if you want the monitor, or you want the eyepiece, or if you want it to automatically switch. You can use that button right there, which is really, really nice and convenient. But when you're just set to automatic mode, which is what I'm in most of the time, that I've just set, like if my face goes up here, I want it to switch to the EVF. If I come away, I want it to be on the LCD like it is here. And now you can see if the LCD is like this, blacks out. If the LCD is flipped up at all of a sudden, no longer goes to your eyepiece here. So I am very, very excited about that feature. and I hope that you are too. It's something that is maybe just a nice touch that really will make your experience with the camera a heck of a lot better, creating both photos and videos, or creating just content that you're flipping between the EVF and the viewfinder. I would say that that is one of the biggest surprises for me switching to mirrorless, is how much I actually just am fine with using the back screen here. So hopefully that's exciting for you, and if you just got your Z6 II and you're trying to load the raw files in Lightroom, hopefully that update will come in the next couple of days. I would say in my experience with all camera manufacturers, typically, I wouldn't say it's more than a week usually. Kind of my progression with it goes that at some point, the Adobe DNG converter will allow support for the Nikon Z6 II. That update usually comes really quick. It might even be out by the time you're watching this video, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then after that, the Lightroom updates follow and you're able to just kind of load everything as you normally would. So if you got your camera and you're kind of stressed, you're like, I can't even load the raw files yet, wait until you can just convert them to a DNG through the DNG converter. But if you absolutely do 100% need your raw files right now, you can actually go to Nikon, I think it's Capture CX, NX, so whatever their capture software is, you can edit the raw files through there right now, and hopefully DNG converter will follow soon, and then hopefully Lightroom shortly after that. Thanks for watching. I will see you again, I guess, in a little while now, 2 weeks from now. So if you're interested in getting those daily posts, please head over to the member site if you're already a member. Thank you very much, and you'll just get them, along with my presets and all the other courses that are up there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in two weeks' time with some new videos from the mountains. See you then.